Hi, my name is Michael Sipos, and I'm the UF IFAS Extension Florida Sea Grant Agent in Collier County. And today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a mango salsa with some grilled red grouper. And this is a dish I've never actually made before, but I was asked to do something by our horticulture agent because mangoes are in season and it's going to taste great. So follow me for my first experience on grilling this grouper and making this mango salsa. So first of all, I'm just going to go over some of the ingredients that we have going on. And we're going to start with the grouper dish first because it requires the grouper to marinate into this mixture that you're going to make. So I'm going to be reading off the recipes. I have it right here. For your mango salsa, you're going to need 2 mangoes, 2 ripe mangoes. You're going to need 2 tomatoes. You're going to need about 1 onion, just depending. This is a yellow onion, sweet onion, chopped. You're going to need a jalapeno, and you can put as much as you want in there depending on if you like the spiciness or not. These are all pre-washed, so I have them prepared to chop up. Then you're going to need 2 tablespoons of chopped cilantro, and honestly they sell them in big bunches, so if you like cilantro, add some more in there. Then salt and pepper to taste, and some lime juice, about 2 tablespoons of lime juice in that salsa. And we're going to prepare that right after we're done with our marinade, because we're going to want that grouper to sit in it for about an hour or so before we go out to the grill and start grilling it. So for your marinade and the grouper dish, actually, you're going to need about a pound of white fish. I chose grouper because I caught it myself and I like seafood. So this is the grouper. This is about 1.5 pounds or so. You're going to need about a 1/3 cup of extra virgin olive oil, a tablespoon of lemon juice, and a tablespoon of lime juice, about 3 minced garlic cloves, a teaspoon of black pepper, a teaspoon of basil, dried basil, a 1/2 teaspoon of just regular salt, and some parsley. So you could add as much as you want. We're going to go for about a tablespoon of chopped parsley in this marinade mixture. So if we're going to have to let it sit for an hour, let's go ahead and make that first. So I'm going to go ahead and chop all our ingredients that we need chopped first, which is going to be the parsley and the garlic cloves, and everything else you just sort of mix together in a bowl, and we're going to pour it into a gallon Ziploc bag. Squeeze out the air, let it sit in the refrigerator, maybe massage it a little bit to make sure that it's evenly coated before we go out there on the grill and cook it. So I'm going to go ahead and get my parsley. And like I said, they sell these things in such giant chunks, and unless you're growing it yourself, you're going to have tablespoons upon tablespoons of parsley. So go ahead and add as much as you want. This is a recipe I found online, and I modified it to a flavor that I wanted to have. So this is going to be a little bit over 1 tablespoon right over here, but minced up. Here. And I forgot to mention, before you start, wash your hands. I already washed my hands 20 seconds under warm soapy water. You're good to go. But we prepared everything prior, so all we have to do is cut and mix and cook and wait. So I cut my parsley there. I got my garlic cloves. I'm going to mince it very fine. You know, if you don't have fresh garlic cloves, you can just use granulated garlic. I like to use as fresh of ingredients as possible, but you know, if you're cooking this recipe and you don't have you know, some extra, if you don't have lemon juice and you only have lime juice, you could go ahead and double up on that, or it's really to taste. And you know, this isn't my recipe that you know, it's now my recipe because I modified the ingredients, but you can do the same as well, and that's how new and great recipes are created. So I went ahead and minced my garlic. I'll put it back in the bowl here. And let's go ahead, and that's pretty much it for our marinade. I'm gonna go ahead and put our cutting utensils here. Wash them off. And let's go ahead and mix our marinade. So our marinade base is going to be this extra virgin olive oil, which you're going to add that 1/3 cup in there. It's going to help that grouper take in that flavor and also let it not stick to the grill as much. We're going to use a little bit of cooking spray on the grill grate. Okay. Got that there. We're going to do our juices next. So that was a 1/3 cup of extra virgin olive oil. You can use fresh lime juice. I didn't feel like squeezing some right now, so I went ahead and got the pre-squeezed. So 1 tablespoon here. Oops. Shot all over the place. But we got that. Same thing with the lemon juice. Citrus works great with fish. Got the lemon juice here. Next, I am going to, let's go ahead and add our parsley. So we have our about 1 tablespoon of chopped parsley. That's going straight into the mixture. We have our minced scarlet cloves. We're going to put those in there. That's 2 to 3, just depending on what you like. Like I said, this is your recipe now. Add what you like. Put more stuff in there, less stuff in there. Let's go ahead and add our black pepper. So this is 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Right here. I'm going to add it over the sink so I don't put too much of this stuff in there. Okay. Boom. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of dried basil. Oh, I did not open this. And then we're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You can use, this is regular iodized salt. You can use sea salt if you want. I thought the finer granulated version would actually sort of get incorporated into that marinade a little bit easier than coarser salt. It might take a little bit longer to dissolve, especially putting it into the refrigerator. We don't want our fish sitting out while it's marinating. Boom. We got all that together. Let's go ahead and whisk this. Oh, that looks good. It smells good too. So this is our mixture after we have it done. I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands because I'm going to go ahead and handle that fish. Warm soapy water. We're ready to grab our red grouper. So I caught this fish myself and I actually have a fillet video out there if you want to learn more about the species and how to get the most out of it. I actually harvested the cheeks and actually the throat portion, or the collars as some people call them. And it's a really popular fish, especially on the west coast of Florida. There's plenty of live bottom where these fish inhabit. They can live about 25, 30 years, I believe. And yeah, they're probably one of the more caught grouper. If you're eating in a restaurant, there's a good chance that it might be red grouper. So we have our fish. I'm going to put it into the bag here. Our plate to the side. And then very carefully, I'm going to pour this marinade mixture. I've had plenty of accidents with bowls that don't have spouts, so I'm going to put the majority of the bowl in there before I pour it quickly. And try to get the most out of it as you can into the bag. So that's all in the bag. I'm going to go and wash my hands again so I don't have grouper all over it. Get the air out of the bag. Now we're going to massage it a little bit, just to make sure all the surfaces of this fish is covered by the oil, lemon juice, lime juice, garlic, basil, peppery goodness. So after I get my massage fish, I'm going to go ahead and put it back in the refrigerator for about an hour or so before we go outside and grill it. So I anticipated one of the longer portions of this video will be chopping up the mango, so I already did so beforehand. This is our chopped up mango. It's in chunks. You know, it just really depends on the consistency you like in terms of, you know, your salsa. There's chunky, there's sort of smooth. I'm going to have a sort of a chunkier variety because it's going to be a topping more so than like a salsa. So I got my mango here. I'm going to put it off to the side actually. And then comes everything else. So let's first of all get a new cutting board. And I'm going to chop all my sort of drier ingredients before I'm going to go touch those tomatoes because that's going to be it's going to be juicy probably. So I'm going to go ahead and get my cilantro. And once again, this is about 2 tablespoons of cilantro. And I don't know anybody who doesn't like cilantro when it comes to you know, salsa. I like that sort of soapy smell. It's really good. It just tastes fresh. So I got my cilantro. I'm going to put it off to the side here. But about 2 tablespoons. I'm going to chop it up fine. Really need to start my own herb garden. Got that. Go ahead and put it in a bowl. When I do these cooking demonstrations, I love having all these utensils on hand in terms of, you know, bowls, plates, knives. So it's always helpful to have some extra. And then I'm going to get our jalapeno. So it's up to you if you want to add the seeds, don't add the seeds. I have a little one at home, so we're going to take the seeds out because the seeds definitely increase that spiciness. So this is going to be sort of minced up. Everything else is going to be sort of roughly cut. But we want that jalapeno to be put into the salsa homogeneously instead of having like a really spicy bite or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and scoop the seeds out of this jalapeno. I am getting hungry just by smelling all these ingredients. So this is going to be finely cut. So you might mince it for a little bit longer than usual. That looks perfect to me. We're going to go ahead and put that in a little bowl until we're ready to mix it all together. I have that ready for us right over there. Okay, so next I am going to get our onions. So it's up to you as much as you want to put in there. I'm going to probably put the majority of this small onion into our salsa mixture. And I'm going to use a tool that I love, which is like a hand food processor. So I'm going to chop it up sort of roughly, put it in there, give it a couple pulls, and it'll give us a good consistency that we're looking for. You can use red onion for this, you could use white onion. I think a lot of people like that red onion for contrast, but it's already going to have a lot of that color in there with that mango and those, the tomato in there. So roughly cut this onion, and we're going to put that in that food processor. That thing saves a ton of time, so if you don't have one, I would suggest looking into one. Loaded it up, the blade is in here. I'm going to attach the top, do a couple pulls. Do some shakes, do some more pulls, and let's look at it. Pretty good. So we got that ready for our salsa. Put that off to the side. Next stop is the tomatoes. So I got 2 large tomatoes. Tomatoes come in all different sizes. It's up to you with your proportions on how much you want to put in there, but 2 and 2, 2 mangoes, 2 tomatoes works well for me. So I'm going to chop this in half and then sort of do a cube sort of consistency. Go ahead and get that sticker off there. And make sure you got a sharp knife. You don't really want to squeeze your tomato and make it all runny. So I definitely ran my knife through a 3-stage knife sharpener beforehand, or a 2-stage. You can find those online too. Okay. And go ahead and move some of this tomato out of the way. And yeah, if you don't really want to make your own salsa, you can go ahead and buy your own mango salsa. I've seen it at different big box stores out there. But mango is definitely in season. If you walk around your neighborhood and you live in Florida, you could probably find a neighbor with a tree and introduce yourself. Okay. I asked a fruit expert on how many different mango varieties there are, and he said there's probably thousands of actual named mangoes, but there's about 20 of them or so that are actually worth growing out here. So, you know, once you get into the exotic fruit world, if you're starting to grow them yourself, you could find a bunch of different varieties of mango. Okay. Got all this. Yeah, and you don't have to use red grouper if you don't have grouper available, or if you want to use, you know, any kind of fish that you have in your own freezer or refrigerator from you going out there and catching it yourself, or if the grocery store doesn't have it, you can, you know, choose any kind of sort of white fish. If you're grilling something, you know, anything that's a little bit firmer, or the mussel flakes are a little bit spread apart, wider, it's going to help from falling into the grill. So choose that kind of fish, but there's also different grilling equipment that you can get in terms of grates or even sort of like a copper pan or something that you could put on there. So let's go ahead and put this here. And I have all my tomato right there. I have my mango right here, and we're going to have a lot left over for chips or something afterwards. And let's go ahead and mix it all together. So you're going to need a larger mixing bowl. Put my tomato. I get my mango. Oh, that looks good. I have my jalapeno. Put that in there. My cilantro. Put that in there. This is a really simple recipe out there. And then let's go ahead and put our lime juice. That's probably the next good thing. So we're going to put about 2 tablespoons of lime juice. You could put about a whole lime in there if you want to, squeeze. So 1, 2. Put that off to the side. And let's go ahead and put our onion. I almost forgot about it. I love onion as well. So put a lot of this onion in there. I'm going to leave a little bit left over. And there's some chunks that are a little bit bigger, so I'm going to toss those. Boom. Perfect. And salt and pepper to taste. I'll put a little bit now, and then as I'm eating it with my fish dish, I'm going to add some more if I need it. Our pepper. I'm not going to do that with our salt. You don't really want to make it too salty, so I poured some in my hand. That's good. And a little spritz. And let's go ahead and get a mixing spoon and mix it all together, put it in the refrigerator, and wait until our grouper marinates. Ooh. That looks good. This is definitely chunkier, but like I said, it's sort of like a topping. This is what it looks like. So it actually looks so good that I'm going to taste it right now. Let's get a little bit of this, a little bit of mango in here. That combination works well. So we're going to go ahead and put this in the refrigerator, leave it covered, and let, probably another 20-30 minutes or so until our grouper is ready, and we'll go outside and grill it. Hey guys, so it's been about an hour, and we let our grouper marinate in the refrigerator in our marinade mixture that we made earlier. And I preheated the grill. I have a temperature out here, thermometer, so it's about 300 something degrees or so. We're going to go ahead and spray our grill surface with some cooking spray to make sure the fish doesn't stick. My grill actually has pretty thin grates, I mean pretty close together grates, so the risk of falling through isn't as great as some other grills. So if you're cooking this on a grill that has wider bars, you might want to have some sort of sheet over the top. They have like these copper sheets that they use, or a thinner grill grate that you can sort of retrofit over the top. So we're going to get this cooking spray it on top, and then we're going to drip this fish off and put it straight on. And it's going to take about 3 to 4 minutes each side. Fish by the USDA should be cooked to about 145 degrees sustained temperature. So we have our thermometer here and another probe, and we can test that out later. So let's go ahead and get this cooking surface sprayed so the fish doesn't stick. And smoke up a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and dip in the bag and get the fish and place it directly on there. Awesome. It already smells great. So we got our fish on there. Cover it, like I said, about 3 or 4 minutes each side. I wouldn't use a fork to flip it. I'd use something like a spatula that has more surface area to make sure those myomeres or those muscle flakes don't break apart. So that's going to be cooking there, and we're going to go check on it in a little bit, and hopefully it will be done shortly. Okay, so we grilled our fish. This is it. And now we have to plate it. So just a little recap. It took about 6 to 8 minutes for those thinner fillet slices, which is like the bottom portion of the actual fish fillet, not sort of the shoulder meatier portion. The meatier portion, that's probably about an inch or so, took about 12 minutes or so to properly and thoroughly cook to 145 degrees. So yeah, about if you're using a tilapia fillet or a thinner meat fish, it's going to be 6 to 8 minutes total time. Thicker meat fish, probably about 12 to 15, just depending. So let's go ahead and plate this. I went ahead and made some wild rice in the meantime, so I'm going to go ahead and put that as our base for our plate. And then put the fish on top and layer that mango salsa on top of the fish. So I'm excited to eat that. And this is a great way of getting a lot of your unsaturated fatty fats in there. So fish are high in omega-3s. Red grouper has a lot of vitamin B6, B12, selenium, protein. So it's really good for development of nervous systems. Okay, so I got that there. Let's go ahead and get this nice chunky piece of red grouper. Put that on top. And then get some of our mango salsa. So I'm going to get a spoon. Here it is, once again. One of my favorite parts. And then sort of put it all around, maybe put it on top. It'll be cool when like the juices from the salsa, that sweet mango sort of incorporates into that fish, just the juices, let alone, you know, taking a bite full of it. So let me put that around here. We've got plenty of it. And here it is. There's your dish. This is your grilled, marinated red grouper with some mango salsa. So you guys enjoy, and I know I will. And hopefully you'll tune in to watch some more clips from us and enjoy your seafood and mango dish. Thanks for watching, guys.